Ghoul. Hey dudes, it's cool Dude Ghoul here, filling in for Igorro. He wanted me to touch base with you about continuing Monsters in the Box. He gave me a ringle-dingle on the old chingle, and I said, yeah, I'm cool with that. I'd be glad to help you out. So let's get to it. Let's get through these other items here. Oh! Ooh. You know who this is, dude? This is the old Cyclops from Ray Harryhausen, from the 7th Voyage of Sinbad. This is beautiful work. This is, I believe, another sideshow collectible toy. Right? Yeah. He's got the big club. You know, that's so he can Kachaka! You know, this is based on the old Greek legends about the Cyclops. And he trapped one of the Greek mythical heroes in a cave, and the hero got the Cyclops drunk. Because the Cyclops could put a big rock in front of the cave, he couldn't get out, all his fellow people that came with him. The Cyclops would eat a couple every day, and they're like, this has got to stop. And they couldn't get out, so they got him drunk, he fell asleep. And then they poked out his eye with a pole that they made out of a stick. I love this guy, only problem is he doesn't stand up. Oh, there he is. I don't know if you can see that, but there he is. I'll do a close-up of him later, but yeah, this is the old Cyclopso. Yeah, and he even has an alternative head. This is the double-horned head, and he's got a single-horned head. A pretty cool looking guy. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. I know earlier Igorro showed you a little bit of Phantom of the Opera. Well, this is the silver screen version of the Phantom. Of course, if you remember, my silver screen of the bride is in the package still, because the package says creature. Because here it is, black and white, but again, of the bride, but creature from the Black Lagoon. But anyway, yeah, look at this. Oh yeah, and here they are in the back. Silver screen edition. Creature, Phantom, and the bride. I don't believe they made any more of these as far as the silver screen. Thing I've noticed about these is that they are jointed, and they've got these little things on the bottom. This one broke off, and that's my caution. They have a little pin, you know, the male part comes out, positive end, and it goes into the negative, the hole, right? Pin goes in the hole. Well, here's my caution, folks. Beware, because they break very easily. Igorro's had these in storage, and even if you move the arm sometimes, they totally break right off. So I'm debating if I should just glue these to the stands, because every time you take them off, you risk those breaking. And even the arms, I had the Wolfman, and I moved the Wolfman arm, and he broke off. And I said, I'm sorry, Igorro, and I fixed it, and then I moved the other hand, and it broke off. And I'm not kidding you. And all I did was move it, so they're very fragile. Now I know there are other accoutrements that come with him. And like I said, at one point I'm going to display them all. I'm going to go through them and look at them later on. And I might do it, or it might be Igorro doing it. Don't really know. Might even be, you know, No Baloney Bill. Who knows? Oh, look at this. Beautiful. That's the creature from the Black Lagoon. And again, this is the silver screen. As you recall, Igorro's creature arm broke off. He did reglue it. The only problem is once you glue it, it doesn't move anymore. But you don't want to be moving these too much anyway. Like I said, I'm almost debating if I should just put them up like an Aurora model kit. Just glue it right on its base, have it there, and then the accoutrements can still be loose. In other words, this one comes with a spear gun and a net. If it was in this packaging, it would have all made sense, huh? But again, this is really rare. If anybody knows how much this is worth, give old Igorro or me, cool Dude Ghoul, a call, and we'll check it out. Here's another one. Let's take a look, see what there. Yowza! Ooh, Bride of Frankenstein. You can put the bride's head on as well, where she's unmasked as well. So they have the masked, or not the masked, but the wrapped up version of her. And then they have the version of her when they take the wrapping off of her. And she's a beaut. This also comes off. And you can see she's all wrapped head to toe. That's what's nice about these sideshows. They take different elements out of the film, different stages of where the creatures were. Even the Invisible Man, which I think Igorro showed you later on, has an invisible head or see-through plastic head that you can pop on. Ooh, another Phantom. Dude, this one's the color version, the regular version of the Phantom. It's beautiful. The nice thing about these is, as I've said before, they're so accurate. And you know, Lon Chaney, he did some painful stuff, that man. He was kind of almost like a sadist. Hey, to each his own, you know. He put like wires, like kind of a wire around his eyes that made his eyes pop because he wanted that skull look for the Phantom, right? Thing is, those things, if they popped out, they could have sliced his eye. He was nuts. To make his eyes look blinded, he shaved off part of a hard-boiled egg, the white. He shaved it off and he put it on his eye like a contact. That's a great idea, except not, because eyes, you know, put an egg yolk on your eye, you could become infected. You know, it's not like a contact lens, but they didn't have them back there in the 20s. This man was innovative. He was doing stuff that, you know, no one else even thought of. So yeah, he put these wires in there. He also took like a fish hook and gave him the old nose, you know. I hope my nose is clear. I don't want you guys to see anything that'll spook your boogala, and no pun on the boogala. He had a wire hooked here that he hooked up back onto his wig piece that gave him the nose up, and then the wiring in the eyes. And he had a bunch of different teeth that he would use, but he was really, you know, people fainted when they saw his mask reveal in the Phantom, because that, at the time, that was quite shocking. And if you notice the Phantom, he's always has different versions that look different ways. The 43 version, which they didn't do here, which is interesting. They didn't do the Claude Rains one. Because the thing about Sideshow is they're strictly sticking to Sideshow. Sideshow is strictly sticking. It's easy for me to say. Strictly sticking to the Universal Monsters only. That's why you don't see Jekyll and Hyde, you know. Because that's a Paramount film, not a Universal. But I'm kind of curious why they didn't do other versions of The Mummy. I would have loved to have seen Sideshow do a Lon Chaney version of The Mummy, or even Tom Tyler, who played Shazam, Captain Marvel. Oh, yeah! Nobody is complete without the pinnacle, the classic, and I hate the word, iconic. I hate iconic. It's like at the end of the day, an iconic is that's anything, you know, that's all people can say. Well, at the end of the day, shut up, put a pickle in it, buddy. It's cool though. It's cool to say it at the end of the day. I'm cool with it. Classic Karloff Frankenstein monster. This is so well done. It is so beautiful. It's just plain beautiful. I love this Karloff. Take a good look at him. Like I said, eventually I'm going to take some really nice pictures of all these sideshows, because I do have them all. I looked at some when they had a full collection on display, and I thought, I got them all. I'm going to check, make sure, but I think I have every single one of them. The thing about Igorro's collection, all the boxes you haven't seen, he has everything. Because he was born turn of the, you know, he was born in like 1905. You know, he's a vampire-ish kind of guy. He's been around a long time, and he's got all most everything from the 60s, all the original Aurora kits. He's got almost all of them. A couple are reissues, but generally even the reissues are way back in the 80s and even the 70s. So he's on fire with Aurora. He has almost all of the famous monsters of Filmland. He's got other numerous magazines. He's got Film Facts. He's got Castle of Frankenstein, which was a really cool magazine. He's got a lot of them, and we're going to see them all. I ain't kidding you. Not to mention some of his original movie posters. Anyway, that is Frankenstein, and that is the William Henry Pratt / Boris Karloff / James Whale / Frankenstein / So cool. I know that he's got a torch too. Someone knows a torch. But I don't know where it is right now. Ever know those people that do this? But when you're a little kid, remember you go to the drinking fountain, you'd be like... And the other kid's like, come on, you're hogging it. And you're like... Anyway, I don't know where that came from. Oh, wowza. This is the original Lon Chaney Sr. Hunchback of Notre Dame. See, this is a weird thing too. I don't know if you remember the Aurora kits, but the Aurora kits were painted by an excellent artist. The covers by James Obama. And when he first started painting them, they didn't really pay attention to the painting as far as its context to the model. For example, I remember getting the original. Well, I digress. Let's finish this first. I'll go on later. So this is Lon Chaney Sr. as the Hunchback. And the Aurora model kit, they had him on the table, right? Getting whipped. What the? Right? They have a little crown for him because he was the king of the fools. And they have a cape I think he wore and stuff. And it's all in here somewhere. I prefer what they vinyl sculpted. It just, I think Igorro said that before, where he's like, I'm not into the, the clothes because it makes them look like little dolls. And I love the hair. Look how they got the little, oops, can't say that word. Look how they have the little twists of hair coming out of his wig, because that's the way Lon Chaney Sr. had. That's the kind of wig he had. So that is just, again, just a nice detail. Looks like there's only one left in the finale. Oh! Ladies and gentlemen, here we are. Open up the curtain, please. I love this position. I'm very afraid to move him because I don't want that to break off. I'm not kidding you. These things will break off. They will. But this is Son of Frankenstein, 1939. This is the third and only Karloff monster films they made. Now, they did Son of Frankenstein. I don't believe they made a version of The Bride, which is too bad, because, The Bride's where his hair was totally different, right? It was burned from the windmill fire, and then you can see I've got them both here to compare. They look very similar. Karloff gained a little weight because he was a little older by the time this film came out. But they also put this big furry thing on him, right? Which was only in this film, but, comics and a lot of versions of the monster, they use this. They use it a lot in comics, like even the Marvel Frankensteins, they always gave him the furry thing. Jack Davis, a great illustrator who worked for Mad Magazine, he did a great Frankenstein cartoon poster, and he had the fuzzy vest on as well. This one looks a little off. And the reason his arm is open like that is because of, look at here, Inspector's arm, which he tore off at the end of Son of Frankenstein. And the irony is that Lionel Atwill, who played the Inspector Krug, apparently when Lionel Atwill was a little child, the monster grabbed him to move him or something and pulled off his arm. And that's, he talks about it in the film, and that's pretty spooky, because you never saw Frankenstein's monster tearing people's arms off in Universal movies in the 30s. And this happens at the very end of the film, when the monster's right by the sulfur pit, rips off the inspector's arm, and the inspector's shooting him. Bullets aren't even hurting him. And then Basil Rathbone, as the young Frankenstein, swings off on a rope and kicks him right in the chest, and he falls into the pit of sulfur. Anyway, that is the son of Frankenstein, the monster. And again, Karloff, really nice detail. Think that's all we got for today for Monsters in the Box. This is Cool Dude Ghoul signing off. I'll see you later. Keep it cool. 2.